Hello everyone, very good evening. Please let me know, guys, if you can hear me. Thanks all for joining, first of all. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Can someone please confirm? Today we will discuss about like how you can make the best use of SelectorsHub because we have added a lot many features which many of you are not aware, and lots of good things are there. In fact, like people keep using it, but they didn't get to know like what all things are there, and then how they can make the best use of SelectorsHub so that like they can utilize it even further better. Hi Anirudh, thanks for joining. Hi Aditya. Thanks guys. Thanks for the confirmation. And before we get started, uh, so today we will be like mostly discussing. I will be showing all the features in SelectorsHub Pro, and now as we are giving the free access of SelectorsHub Pro to all our users. So before like everyone join in, let me just give you guys the link to take the free trial. So I will request all of you and suggest you that please take the free trial from here. So also like you just go to selectors of website and you will get it from here. So please take your free trial right now. Just go here and click here, get free access. And from here you can just follow these three simple steps and you will get your free access right away. And if anyone like missed that you didn't get the access, we'll make sure that after this session you all get the free access of SelectorsHub Pro. And if anybody is using Test Case Studio Pro, so you can also follow this blog here to get the access of Test Case Studio Pro. So uh, just like meanwhile everybody is joining in, please guys register for this so you get the free account of SelectorsHub Pro. After registration, like within 1 hour, your account will be activated and you all will get the free access of SelectorsHub Pro. So we'll wait for another 2-3 minutes and then we'll start the session for today. Meanwhile, I'll request all of you that please do register and get your free access right away. And if you guys have any question, meanwhile, feel free to ask. Yes, Anirudh, please let me know what's your question. I will also ping the link here to get the free access of SelectorsHub Pro for the LinkedIn user. Also, you can just go to SelectorsHub website and you will get the link there right away. Just follow simple 2-3 steps and you will get the free access of SelectorsHub Pro. Because today we'll be talking all the features in Pro version because now everybody can get the free access and everybody can use. In fact, like we also really want everyone to explore these innovations, save more time, which was and which is missing in like free version. Of course, like free version has pretty much everything, but still we want everyone to explore the Pro version and see that what all we have done, why people call this SelectorsHub tool so amazing, so innovative product. So yes, another 1 minute and then we'll start. I'm just making sure that everybody register and get it. And this is just for very limited period that we are giving the free account for everyone. So please guys take it ASAP before this offer ends. So you all get the free access of SelectorsHub Pro and Test Case Studio Pro. And after registration, those who didn't get the credential, like even after this session, then please do connect with us on the live chat here that your account didn't get created, or you can just drop us the email from your registered email to support@selectorshub.com, so that will make sure that your account get created and you get the free access. Okay, so let's get started and with the today's session. Once again, welcome you all, and thanks so much for joining in such a huge number. So, very first thing, the Selector Sub is, like those who are not aware, let me tell you guys, Selector Sub is the next gen XPath and Selectors plugin, which helps you guys to write, verify, and edit your XPath, CSS selectors, or any kind of selectors out there. Like in fact, the Playwright selectors also, because Playwright also introduced their only, like their specific types of selectors, exclusive selectors rather, I should say. So that also Selectors Hub supports. It has many features which are like very useful from the learning perspective, like verifying the XPath and selectors, and that's where you get the, if you are doing anything wrong, you get the error message, proper error message. So error handling is there. If you guys have not learned those things, so that you can learn, you can write XPath and CSS selector smartly, like it used to auto suggest like in a smart editor. So likewise, there are many features are there. You can inspect the dynamic drop down, dynamic elements, bubble loader, debugger feature is there, selectors healing feature is there. So many features are there that we will see. And one of the most innovative thing is there in the XPath plugin history, that now you can open this XPath plugin selectors plugin just in one click. Like you need not to right click, open in dev tools and all those things. You need not to do that. Before I continue, can someone please confirm that my voice and everything is clear? You can see my screen. There is no echo or like delay anything. So just need a confirmation from you people, then we can get started. Keep going. Anyone can please confirm? So let me just start from the very basic thing. Here you go on SelectorsHub website, you open SelectorsHub Pro here. And as we all have taken this free account of the Pro version, after that you just have to install the SelectorsHub Pro. You can install it on any other any browser which you prefer, which you use. So Chrome, Firefox, Edge, Brave, Chromium, Opera. There, the most of the functionalities and most number of functionalities are supported and available in Chrome browser and Edge browser. Firefox, there are few functionalities which are not supported in Firefox, for the very obvious reason that Firefox doesn't support them. So in let's start with the Chrome. I believe like most of you must be using Chrome. So here you will get the add to Chrome button, so that you can add it in your browser after, because I have already, so that's the reason it is showing remove. So once you have added, then you can just like after adding it, restart your browser, and then from there on you will be all set. Now here, generally, those who were already using Selectors Hub, I'm sure like most of you must be right click on inspect, and here left side you find the elements tab, and right side you see couple of tabs as well, but nowhere you found the Selectors Hub. So the very first question and most asked question from us is this, that where to find the Selectors Hub. So we always used to say that open dev tools. In the left side, you see the elements tab. On the right side, you will see styles computed and all those tabs. And here it will be the last tab. Like you have to click on these two arrows, and Selector Sub Pro is the last tab here. But here now you need not to do this. Like every time, right click on inspect, then click on these two arrows, and then click on Selector Sub Pro. These four steps you need not to do. You just click on the SelectorsHub logo right from this top toolbar, and SelectorsHub Pro will be opened here. So this way you can access SelectorsHub just in one click. And another great thing is this, that you need not to open this again and again. Now you see that that tab is always keeping open here, and we just switch to any other tab and that is always there. So we need not to open this again and again. Like if we are using in dev tools, like let's say for an example, if I close this, open it here, so selector sub is open here. But if I have to use in any other tab, like let's say on the second tab, here again I will have to open this. We cannot like utilize that the previous one. So every time like four clicks you will have to do. One is right click, second is click on inspect, third is click on these two arrows, and fourth is click on this selector sub pro. You see that four steps were there to reach to selector sub, but now just in one click. Isn't it really good? And this is the only and the very first extension, XPath extension, which has this feature that you can open it just by clicking on the logo, and it will always remains over there, and it will not hide or come in between your website. Like you might have seen in the past that there was a tool like XPath Helper which used to open by clicking on the logo, but that the problem with that was because that used to always there on top of your header or on top of your website. So that's where it used to block the view and block the website. What if like you have to inspect these all elements, and there were, for very obvious reason, there were like many features were not there. So not at all comparable with SelectorsHub. So here SelectorsHub opens just in one click. You can also open through keyboard shortcut. Like you just have to press Command Shift S and it will open. You can also customize the keyboard shortcut as well. Like you just have to like let's say you want to customize these keys, like in place of Command Shift S you want to customize that something else. Right click, click on Manage Extension, and here you have this keyboard shortcut. Click on this, and let's say this is what you want to edit, so click on Edit, and you can change the command. Like let's say Command Shift, I want to make it J. Now if I go here and press Command Shift J, it will open the tab. So this way you can customize the key as well for the for opening the selector sub. So this is the new way. This is the new way to use selector sub, and we highly recommend to use this way. Do not open in DevTools because that is a kind of like time waste. Is it new for anyone out there on the call? Can someone please let me know? Like, is it new for you guys? I'm sure it must be new for many people, but I really want to hear from you guys that is this new? It must be new for many people because most of you might be still using selector sub in DevTools itself. But now here you can just open it by clicking on the logo. This feature is available on Chrome and Edge browser. In Firefox, this is not currently supported on, and in Opera as well, it is not supported. But yeah, soon because they are not supporting. Once these browser will start supporting, so we will also add this feature. Okay, so Gautam is saying he was not aware. Glad. So I'm sure like you guys will get this now. Now here, suppose we have to like write and verify. So I will start with very first thing, that what if like we want to write the XPath and CSS selector here, or we want to generate or if we want to generate the XPath or CSS selector for any element. So your question will be that in DevTools we used to get the HTML, like we can see the HTML and we can write, but here where and how we will see the HTML and how we will inspect the element. If we have to inspect the element, we will have to open the DevTools, right? But here we have the inspector, our own SelectorsHub inspector, which is super duper powerful compared to DevTools. inspector, it is very, very powerful. Like, let me show you. Just click here and inspect any element. You can inspect any element out there, and it will like work similar like DevTools. You can inspect this and you can see the HTML here. If you want to write the XPath or CSS selector for that element, then you can just see that it is here. And here you can start typing, or and anyways, like SelectorsHub is the smart editor for writing XPath and CSS selector. So as you start writing, it auto suggests the values. So anyways, like you don't need the DOM, or you need not to type everything and copy the things. Here, as soon as you start typing, you get all the values and you can verify here. The good thing here is how we are saying that this inspector of SelectorsHub Pro version is super powerful than the free version and the DevTools. Is this that suppose you have to inspect 10 elements or multiple elements, you see that you can keep inspecting and keep seeing their values. It didn't get disabled here. Another great thing, as you hover on the element, like let's say if you hover on this SVG element, it is telling you right there. If you see that this tooltip here, it is telling us that this is SVG element. This is here, it is showing us SVG element. It is not like while in DevTools or anywhere, if you inspect, you didn't get to know that this element has some special properties. Similarly, like if element will be inside shadow DOM or iframe or anything, it will let you know. You see that it is telling you that this element is inside shadow DOM. If anything like any special property, you see that here it is telling you that can't inspect elements inside closed shadow DOM, because that element are inside, those elements are inside closed shadow DOM. So that also letting you know that this is inside closed shadow DOM, so we can't inspect that. So this will help you in your learning as well. So this is how you can inspect any element with the help of SelectorsHub. Now suppose here you are writing XPath and CSS selector, and okay, before that, if you have to, you see that every time you are hovering here and there, this inspector is highlighting those elements, making like yellow color shadow and all. So if you have to disable this, you just have to right click anywhere and it get disabled. So this is very flawless, very smooth. You just like whenever it is activated and you want to deactivate it, you just have to right click anywhere on the page and it will get deactivated. Now here we are writing, okay, so here we were writing the XPath and all. So here if you make any mistake, like let's say you have put the forward slash, if you press enter, it will let you know that what mistake you are making here, like add tag name after forward slash. If you remove this and press enter, if something wrong you will do, it will let you know that close square bracket is missing. So this helps us to understand that what is missing, what wrong we are doing, and whenever you do anything wrong, it will tell you that whether that is a valid or invalid. So it helps a lot. It helps us to learn all about XPath and CSS selector. So this will help us to get great learning. I'm sure like uh, none of the training institute or I have never seen that people teach about the XPath and CSS selectors error handling. And we become expert in any programming language or anything out there. Whatever we learn, we become expert when we handle the error, when we handle the mistakes, what error we are doing. That's where we become expert in this. So if you want to become expert in XPath and CSS selector writing, write it in SelectorsHub. That's where it will help you automatically. What all possible things are there, what are the possibilities while you are writing XPath and CSS selector, what functions are available, it will help you to learn each and everything. How many of you were aware about this fact that you can learn about these XPath or CSS selectors uh, method, and if you make any mistake, it will help you to learn those things? Anyone out there like who got this thing for the very first time? Now suppose here another great thing which SelectorsHub has. Suppose if we have to write a new XPath or CSS selector, generally what we used to do, like we copy this XPath paste it somewhere, and then we will delete this value and we'll start typing again if we want to try something new. And now if we need the previous value which we want to edit, then in that case we will have to again delete this value, go back to your notepad, paste this value, copy that value. Is it a kind of like effort when you write multiple XPath or you play around lots of XPath and selectors? So this is an effort, like manual effort which we have to put. But we are the smart engineers, we are the automation engineers. So why to do that? Here in SelectorsHub, we have this feature that you can save this selector right there in SelectorsHub. So you need not to copy this value, paste it somewhere, and whenever you need, again go back, copy, edit, and all. No, who does all those things? So click here, the value is saved here. So whenever now you can delete this. If you want to write something new, you can write it. Now you need the previous value what you have written. You just click here and you see those values, all the values which you have saved in the past. You can always access them. Click on edit button, or if you want to add this value, you just click on this value is saved. Now you go back here, click on the previous whichever value you want to add it, and this way you can save multiple values of XPath and selectors which you want, which you feel that you need to save, and then you want to add it or try something new, that you can do. So this is also there. So like Gautam is saying, he was not aware about the error handling feature. Yes, and Bharat was aware. Yes, so the problem here is like whenever we talk about XPath and selectors plugin, it always comes in our mind that we are using XPath and selectors plugin just to copy the values. But trust me, SelectorsHub has changed that philosophy, changed that mindset, and now people and trainers and everybody used to recommend SelectorsHub as an editor, where you write your XPath and CSS selector and you get the right value. While if you type and write XPath and selectors in dev tools, you don't get the right sets of like results. Like if you verify all the links or many like XPath and selectors, in many cases, there are many cases, again and again, I don't want to repeat, like I have been talking that for 3 years now, that whenever you verify those values in dev tools, control F, you don't get those like right results many a times. But here in SelectorsHub, you will always get the right result, like how many matching counts are there, if anything is wrong, that also you get, right? So here now, next feature we will talk about, like after saving the value, what if you guys want to write XPath and CSS selector case insensitive? So have you ever written any XPath or CSS selector which is case insensitive? Like for an example, if we inspect here, uh, let's say this, or maybe user email. So here you see that this name, like this has the user email. So here U is capital, E is capital. Like if we edit this value, hit enter, it is showing one matching node. But if we make it small u, hit enter, it is zero matching node now. So in this case, how can we make sure that even with a small u, with a small e or capital E, we want to use this and it should work, like irrespective of whether it is lowercase or uppercase. So in this case, we have this feature, like if you click on this button, it will convert your XPath and CSS selector as a case insensitive, and then you verify, it will show you one matching node. And here you see that U and E both are small, but still it is working. While here, U and E is both are capital. So this way you can also convert your XPath and CSS selector as case insensitive. Then many of you, and in fact like most of us, used to prefer writing XPath relative to other element. Like generally we always prefer to write XPath for this enter email box, input box, with respect to user email label. So can we generate this kind of relative XPath automatically? Yes, this is possible in SelectorsHub, very much possible. Here you have access XPath button, click on this and start inspecting element. So first we have to, like it is telling us to inspect parent and then child. So parent is like respect to which you want to generate, and the targeted element for which you want to generate. So first we will just select the inspector here. First inspect, let's say this, we want to generate for enter password for an example. First inspect password, then inspect this enter password field. So here, this is the XPath for enter password field with respect to password label. Similarly, now suppose you want to generate for this enter email with respect to user email label. First inspect this, then inspect this, and this is how you can generate. Suppose you want to do the reverse, like you want to generate XPath for this password field with respect to enter password, then first inspect enter password, then inspect this password. So now this is the XPath for password field with respect to enter password. So this way you can get the like XPath and CSS, you can generate the XPath with respect to any other element out there. So this is the reason, like for the same reason I'm coming live, and glad I'm hearing that many of you people were not aware about such features like case insensitive is super. I thought this feature earlier, but no luck. Great, Bharat, that you got something new today. Likewise, there are many features. I'm sure you guys will learn lots of new things. You will enjoy. Just keep be with me. And another great thing, like here, I would like to let you guys know that for each and every with each and every feature, there is a tutorial attached. So if you feel that if you face ever any challenge that you miss something, and because this is a very small session today, I might not be able to cover all the features in very detail. So you can always watch the tutorial whenever you face any difficulty here. So with every feature, we have the tutorial attached right there. So just watch that, and it will help you guys. And again, I'm repeating that I'm showing this demo, I'm giving this demo with a pro version. So those who don't have the pro version, we are giving the free access to all our pro tools. You can get the access of pro version right from our website. You will see that here in the website we are showing here, get the free access of pro version. So please get the free access. Now, next one is attribute here. So you see that we have inspected this element, and now it is generating with type attribute. And before that also, let me just show you guys that whenever you inspect any element, it used to show all possible XPath and selectors for each, for that particular inspected element. All possible selectors it will show you here. So you see that here it is generating CSS selector, XPath, index-based XPath, because there will be situation where you don't want to use, sometimes what happened that it used to generate long XPath for the obvious reason, because there might not be any text, there might not be any static attribute. So in that case, it used to generate the index-based XPath. So you can use the shorter XPath. Index XPath will always be very short. Then it has like jQuery, ID, name, JS path, test trigger path, class name, absolute X path, tag name, everything is there. So whatever possible that you will get it here. And if you want to in fact change the order, like let's say you might ask this question that Sanjay, why it is showing ID and name at the footer while XPath and CSS selector upside. We thought like XPath and CSS selector is possible to write for each and every element, but name and ID might not be available for each and every element. But now we have given you the feature, we have given you the power, our user, we have given the power to all our users that you can decide which selectors should be at what position, because you must be knowing about your application better than anyone else, and you know that ID is available for each and every element. So in that case, you just select this and drag and drop on the top. So now you can keep the ID and name on the top, because for your application it is always going to generate. So now next time whenever you will open, and if ID and selectors will be there, whenever you will inspect any element, if ID and name will be there, that will show on top. So it becomes even much easier. So this is the feature we have now in UI, that you can decide the order of the selectors. What could be the order of selectors there in SelectorsHub? And here you see that these are the occurrences. This is the copy icon. Like if you want to copy any of these value, you just click on this, To copy this, if you want to edit, there we have the edit icon. So what it will do, like if you click on edit, it will copy and paste the value here where you in the editor where you can verify that value, or like if any edit you want to do. Okay, now coming back to the attribute thing. So here it is generating by default, let's say with type attribute. But you want to generate this with any other attribute because this has ID and all other selectors are there, all other attributes are there. So can we generate with them? So yes, here we have the attribute filter. If you click on this, okay, so it was generating with type attribute because we have this type attribute already given here. Let me just delete this and make it by default. So by default, you will see that like let me just close it, open it again. So by default, when you will be using selectors up, you will see that with attribute, text, ID, class, name, and then without attribute. These attribute filter you will see when you will open it. Now, if you inspect any element, let's say this one, by default, you will find that it will generate with these attribute. Like there is a preference of attribute which we have chosen in selectors of while generating the XPath and selectors. So and you can also see that attribute tutorial here is also available. So you can watch that to learn more about it. So here you have this relative CSS selector, relative XPath, everything is there. Now it is generating with ID. In your case, there could be a chance that it might ID might be dynamic and you don't want to generate with ID. So what you can do here, you can just uncheck this ID and then you inspect any element here and you will notice that now it is not generating with ID. Also, if you want to generate with any special attribute, like let's say you want to generate with uh, placeholder. Okay, placeholder it is already generating. Suppose you want to generate XPath with title. So here you can pass the title attribute, enter title attribute, and then you inspect the element here, any element, and if title attribute will be available, it will generate with that title attribute. You see that? So this way you can generate the XPath and CSS selector with any attribute which you want. Similarly, like if you want to generate without any attribute, like let's say you know that we always want to ignore this particular attribute, so that you can enter here, and after that whenever you will inspect any element, it will generate without that. So this is the attribute filter. Any questions, guys? Any feedback so far what you have seen? We have a lot more amazing feature. You can generate the code, you can verify all types of selectors, you can generate the locator page, lots of customization, debugger feature is there, so that we will discuss. Any questions so far? Anyone who is already using SelectorsHub Pro version, or everybody is using the free version by far? Okay, so there is a question. Hi, Sanjay, thank you for sharing this info. I would like to know how this selector sub is special when compared to other locator tools. In short, as this is my first session to attend on selector sub. Okay, so selector sub is very much different from other tools out there. Right now, the most amazing thing is this, that you can open selector sub just in one click, like here, like this, and you can access each and everything. It used to generate XPath and CSS selector much better than a human being written XPath, and compared to any tool out there, it always generate the super unique, most stable XPath and CSS selector. This is the very first tool which supports shadow DOM, multiple iframe, nested shadow DOM, iframe inside shadow DOM. It is the very first smart editor, like where you start typing XPath and CSS selector, you get this auto suggest automatically. So you need not to type the complete attribute value, attribute name. You need not to copy those values from the dev tools. You see that it is the smart editor, only smart editor. If you make any mistake here, it will show you that what is wrong in your XPath and CSS selector. So likewise, there are many amazing features in selector sub which makes unique compared to any other tool, any XPath tool out there in the market. And that's the reason, like, this is the highest rated and under top 20 Chrome extensions out there in Chrome store. Like, let me show you guys. And currently being used by uh, 500,000 downloads it has right now, and more than 200k plus active users, weekly active users, 5-star rated tool. And you can see that this is Selectors Hub, and pretty much used everywhere and highly recommended by all the trainers. And like, in fact, like, more than 20 courses out there in Udemy on Selectors Hub right now. So that's the kind of Selectors Hub, and as much as you will explore Selectors Hub, you will love this. It has the feature of debugger, it has the feature of selectors healing, like where you paste your complete script, it will verify all your XPath and CSS selector which got changed. So all those, like, these features I'm going to explain you guys, so just be with me. So you will just like this tool very much. Do we have case insensitive for XPath instead of CSS? Both are there. Like, you can generate the XPath, case insensitive XPath, and CSS selector both. How to generate XPath for placeholder? You don't generate XPath for placeholder, you generate XPath for that element. And that's where the placeholder attribute can be used to write the XPath. So like I showed you guys that here, if you inspect this element, let's say enter email. So you inspect this. So this is the XPath which is being generated for this input box. And here you see that selectors have used that placeholder attribute to generate that. Okay, so I hope Lakshmi you got the answer, and Umesh you also, Bharat you also got the answer for your question. Please let me know if you guys have any other question before we move on. And I really want to make it more interactive. I can see that 240 plus people right now watching us. Please let me know, guys, if you have any question. Feel free to ask. And again, I repeat that this we are showing it demo on SelectorsHub Pro version. So please take the free account for you, free access. We are giving free access to all our users. So just go to SelectorsHub website and you will get the things. Also, I have given the link on the description and in the chat everywhere that how you can get the free account. Just you have to follow these 2-3 steps and you will get. Okay. Any other questions, guys? Also, we have created the lots of tutorial on SelectorsHub YouTube channel. So if you are new here, then please subscribe to the channel. You will always find the great tutorial or anything new we used to add, any new tool. You see that we have right now so many free tools for community, like SelectorsHub Test Case Studio, one of the best recorder plugin out there to generate the manual test cases automatically, screenshot automatically, test steps to reproduce the bug. Everything can be done in Test Case Studio. This is the highest rated, 5-star rated recorder plugin in the Chrome store. Super powerful. So please do install this, check it out. Testing daily, one of the best and the only tool to keep you guys updated. So testing daily mobile app is available. It is also available as browser plugin. So you see that whenever I'm opening new tab here, it is showing me all the latest updates which are coming out there. So I can keep myself updated. Every time you open new tab, you see something new, and you will going to get learn something new, that oh, this is happening out there. So what's happening in the testing space, you will always get to know, like this right now live session. So you are getting to know that, oh, this live session, so whoever have this, they will get to know that this live session, this webinar, what's happening in the testing space, what new blogs, article we are showing, like more than 500 resources we are showing the feed here if any new blogs article comes. So that also helps you guys. Then we have the auto test data here to generate the fake test data for your testing. You can generate thousands of email ID, phone number, etc. Whatever data you want to generate, that you can generate from auto test data for free. you just have to click and it will take you to the autotestdata.com. So you see that here we have this. Then we have test case hub, which is a test case repository. So from here you can get any kind of test cases, test scenarios. And then we have the pro version of SelectorsHub Pro and Test Case Studio Pro. Of course, like these are the paid version, but right now we are giving the free access to all our users. So get your free account for both these tools and enjoy using them and save the time. And at the same time, you will basically learn lots of things to like you will get lots of idea about automation, that oh, this can be also automated. Like you might have been doing lots of things manually for a long time, but now when you will explore that pro version, you will get to know, oh, this is also possible, this is automatic, everything is done. Cool. Okay, so I'm moving on because I don't see any other question now. So here you see that we got to know that okay, we can generate the XPath, we can generate the CSS selector, we can generate the XPath relative to other element, and all those things are possible that can be done. Now next thing is that when you copy this XPath or CSS selector or any value, we don't use this directly in our script. We always write something like at find by or by.xpath or by.css selector or driver.find element, something like this. You guys agree with me? Like you don't write like this, right? You will always type driver.find element, then by.xpath or some, it could be like some other framework in your case, so you might be writing different syntax, but you always write that. You just don't paste XPath in your code, right? So can we get this complete command from selectors, or rather than like just copying the XPath, can we just copy the complete command so that we can paste it in our code and we need not to type anything else? So yes, that is possible and very much possible. You can get the exact same command irrespective of whether you are using Selenium, Cypress, Playwright, WebDriver IO, or any customized framework in house, or you might be using Java, Python, Ruby, any programming language, JavaScript, doesn't matter. You will get it from here. So you see that here we have this code feature. Click on this, and now you see that it has opened this input box, and after that it has implemented that driver.find element command on all these selectors. Now you can simply copy this XPath, go back to your code, and paste it there. So you see that we need not to type this, we need not to write that driver.find element or any other command. If you might be using this, let's say private by selector name, now you see that that has got implemented. If you might be using at find by locator page, you see that immediately got implemented. You copy this, come here, and that complete command is ready. You must be wondering that how this name, keyword name, it will take, because we have given for each XPath we used to write some name, right? That also selectors will take care. It is smart enough to give the name to that selectors as well. How many of you were aware about this feature, that you can generate the code with any kind of command, any kind of framework? And also you can customize this command, like suppose, because there are few commands here, in fact Selenium, Python is also here. So if suppose your command is not there, you can also customize this command. Like you can just edit this command, and whatever command is there in your code, that will work. You can also watch this tutorial whenever you face that difficulty. Is there anyone who was not aware about this feature, or anyone who was aware and using this feature? Please let me know, guys. I'm sure there must be few people. Or any question on this code, this part. Now you inspect any element, and you see that the code is generating, the command is generating. Was everyone aware already, or was everyone was not aware? I don't see any message from anyone. And guys, don't forget to take the your free account. Okay, the next up is page object model. Like you can generate the locators page, the complete locators page you can generate from selectors hub. So you see that here, okay, we can generate the code, we can generate the XPath, we can generate the code as well. So here you see that, let's say we can copy this, we can go to our code, paste it there. This we can do. But now if we have to generate this for multiple elements, like for this, we can copy this, go back there and paste it. Now we'll inspect this, copy this value, again go back to your editor, paste this. For next element, if you want to generate, we'll copy this, inspect this, then copy this, then come here, then paste this. So this is a kind of like tedious task, like every time we have to inspect, then copy, then paste, then inspect, then copy, then paste, then inspect, copy and paste. Can we do this, that we get all the elements in one shot, we inspect only once, we copy only once, and we paste only once? Like for 100 elements, like 100 elements are there, so we'll not have to inspect 100, like we'll not have to copy 100 times, we'll not have to paste 100 times. Just in one copy, one paste, we should be able to do it for all the 100 elements. So yes, that is possible, we can do that. Before that, there is a question, let me take that. Whether this selector sub supports Java right click blocked website to get the XPath. Yes, it will support. If you don't like, now you see that for selector sub, right click is not required actually. So you see, you just have to click on the logo here. Vivek, you can notice this. You just click on the logo, you see that selector sub is open. You select this inspector and you start inspecting elements, and you see that we didn't do any right click anywhere, and we are able to generate. So you just, if you can click on the website, or you can use the click, you should be able to perform, you should be able to generate locators, verify and everything. So right click is not required to use the selector sub at all. Though we have a very good feature on the right click as well. You see that you right click here, even like if you want to use the right click, you don't even need to open the selector sub, everything can be done here. You see that SelectorsHub Pro option is right there in context menu, and you can see the values as well before copying. So here you see that the values are also visible, like before copying those value, you know that you can, what value you are copying. Though in free version we just have this feature that you can copy, but in pro version you can also see the value, like what is the value of id, user id, name, email, relative xpath, this is css selector, js path, absolute xpath. So everything you get in the context menu as well on the right click. So that feature is there. Okay, I hope Vivek I answered your question. Great. Moving on. So we were talking about generating the commands for all the elements in one go. Like suppose we want to generate the locator page, let's say this one. So what you need to do, you keep it open, this code part, and then you click on this POM page. Now see the magic here, this is open. You select this inspector and start clicking on all those elements, on top of all those elements for which you want to generate the locator page. You see how fast it is. Click, click. You just keep inspecting all those elements for which you want to generate the XPath and CSS selector. And suppose for these many we want to generate, and now you click on copy. All the code is copied in your clipboard, and you come here in your code. Let's say we are here, and you paste it. Boom. In one go, we have generated the locator page. It could be like 100 elements. You just keep on clicking on those elements and it will generate the locator page like this, just in few clicks, without copying multiple times, without selecting or anything, doing multiple times. And here you can change the command as well, like at any point of time. Suppose you are working with Cypress, you select this and hit enter. After that, like you start inspecting all those elements and it will update for them. So you can select any of these, and it will also always save like all the settings, whatever you will do, that will be saved in your system, so you will not have to do it again and again. Like, let me show you once again how we did this locator page thing. You have to click on this SelectorsHub logo. Like, suppose you have already kept it open, so you have this here. Keep the command on, suppose, and then select this locator page. Start inspecting the elements. One, two, which all elements you want, you just keep inspecting them, and it will keeps doing the magic. Then you copy, go back to your editor, and paste it. Like, let's say this time we have generated with driver.find element, so you just do this. So this way you can generate the locator page super fast. Here we have the tutorial. If you want to update the command, if you want to learn more about this feature, so you have all those things right there in SelectorsHub. If you guys have any question, please let me know. Were you guys aware about this generating the locator page out there? And has anyone ever used this feature? This is the fastest way. Like, you guys can challenge, or you guys can let me know that if anyone can write the locator page faster than this. And do not worry about that what kind of XPath and CSS selector it will be generating here with the command. It will be generating the best XPath what you need. And here, if you write, like scroll towards right side, you will see that all possible selectors it is generating here. Any question, any feedback on this feature generating the locator page? Were you guys aware about it? And if you have any question on this, feel free to let me know. Now, the next thing is selector sealing. One of the best feature of SelectorsHub, and this feature is available in pro version only. Selector sealing in free version, you can have, we have the XPath healing. So what is selector sealing and why we have introduced this feature? So let me just first talk about why. So you see that here, suppose we have this piece of code we have, let's say. So whenever there is a UI change happen, generally it always happen a lot that some of the locators start breaking. And because of that, our automation script start like breaking and stop working, and test cases start failing. And for that reason, nobody wants to verify X path one by one, these selectors, like these selectors one by one. Everybody wants to like do the smart work, and then like this is one of the main reason that most of the UI automation script used to go in backlog, and people say lots of maintenance required, and that's the reason we don't like the UI automation. We go for some other thing. But if we fix this problem, that if there is a, if there ever UI change happen, you can verify all selectors just in one click. If that can be possible, then yes, UI automation maintenance, UI script maintenance becomes much easier. Like, for an example, what if, like, let's say UI got changed, and if I say that you can verify this complete set of code, this piece of code, just by copy pasting, you can verify all XPath. You need not to copy one by one. Then you will be happy, right? Similarly, like, you can verify even not just XPath, you can verify all selectors. Like, let's say XPath is there, ID is there, class name, CSS selector, tag name, partial link text, everything, whatever will be there, everything can be verified. What you do, simply copy this piece of code. You can copy complete code, no need to like segregate XPath or CSS selector or that command on top of them, or import statement, any API statement is written, or any import, anything is written, that all you can copy. Come here in selectors up, click on this selectors healing feature. It will open this pop-up, paste this piece of code, and here you have to pass that command. That instructions are, or everything is there. So whatever is there in your code, that command you pass and click on submit. It will fetch all the XPath and CSS selector and everything from your code, and it will start showing the matching node here. You see that this company has 4 matching node, practice page, this, and whichever got changed, it will show 00. You click on them or edit them and verify and fix those. So this way you can verify your complete script just in one go. And here it will show you that whether this is the ID, class name, and everything from your code itself. Isn't it amazing to verify all possible XPath and CSS selector just in one click? If there will be any one matching node, it will show one as well. You just have to go to that page for which page those selectors are and copy and paste, and it will verify everything. So this is selectors healing. Any question on the selectors healing feature? You have to click on this, paste the code here, click on submit, and it will verify, fetch all XPath and CSS selector from your code and verify them, and show the result here. Next up is debugger feature. We all have this problem of verifying, inspecting the dynamic elements like dynamic drop down, which immediately get disappear. So how we can handle them? How we can inspect those elements? So to use debugger feature, I recommend you guys to use it in SelectorsHub by opening the DevTools. Though you can also use it here, but for that you will have to keep the debugger open, keep the DevTools open, because debugger always works when DevTools is open. So let me just show it with the DevTools one. Okay, now what kind of elements I'm talking about? Like let's say, okay, there could be multiple types of drop down, right? Like one is this, you can write on which you can right click and inspect and copy everything you can do. So this is fine, right? So this is fine that this kind of drop down elements can be inspected. There could be like drop downs like this. Let's say if we search here something and we try to right click on this, and they got immediately disappear, like on Flipkart, this one. So how to inspect such kind of element which used to get disappear when you right click or open DevTools or press any key in the keyboard? So how can we inspect? This can be inspected easily with the help of SelectorsHub. You open DevTools, open SelectorsHub here. Another thing, just a quick tip, that you can drag and drop this, so you need not to click on these arrows as well. Now here SelectorsHub is open. What you have to do, you just have to click on this debugger button here on the right side. You see that debugger is there. Click on this. After clicking on this debugger button, you have to make this element visible within 5 seconds, and then you see the magic that this drop down will always be here, it will not disappear. Now you can inspect this element using the DevTools inspector, and this way you can inspect any of these drop down elements or so-called dynamic element. Any kind of drop down, any kind of dynamic elements can be inspected with the help of SelectorsHub debugger feature. There is one more types of element which we generally face the problem by while inspecting, like the bubble loader. Like let's say if I open Twitter here, you see that these bubble loader, if we try to inspect this element, this got disappear. So how can we inspect these elements? So for this, like debugger should get started immediately, because as soon as we refresh the page, if after clicking on debugger, if we will refresh the page, then debugger will not get activated. So after clicking on the debugger, we are not allowed to refresh the page. So here the challenge is debugger should get started immediately after clicking on that, because we can make this bubble loader visible when we refresh the page, and after refresh we have to turn on debugger, and after turning on debugger we cannot refresh. So we want to start debugger immediately as soon as that bubble loader appear. Simple, we want to start the debugger as soon as that bubble loader appear, and it should be like within 1 second everything. So for that, you can customize the timer of debugger. Here we have this feature, click on customize. And here you see that debugger start time in seconds. So this is right now 5. We will make it 0. Then go back, refresh the page, keep your cursor on top of debugger, refresh the page. As soon as bubble loader appear, click on this. And now you see that everything is hold here. Now you can inspect this. And you see that SelectorsHub is also telling that this is SVG element and these are the XPath and selectors and everything for this element. So this way you can inspect even these kind of dynamic element. You can change the time of getting started the debugger. This is another very good feature of SelectorsHub, that you can inspect the dynamic elements as well. Then we have the code feature. Like suppose if you want to generate the XPath and CSS selector, what happened, like in some cases you might be using, let's say, Playwright or some framework which doesn't support the single code. Like it is generating by default with single code this XPath. You want with double code, click on this. And now if you inspect any element, it will generate with double code. Like you just have to click here. And you see now it is generating XPath and CSS selector with double quotes. Then under customize, we have lots of other feature. Like if you don't want to see any other selector, like lots of selectors are there, lots of UI elements are there. Whichever you don't want to see, you can just uncheck from here and it will not be visible in the UI. Like let's say you don't want to see class name, link text, absolute XPath, tag name, whichever you don't want, you just remove this. And now whenever you will inspect any element here, you will not see all those selectors which you don't want to see unnecessarily. Under customize, you have like if you want to see all the selectors generated, you don't want to, like, because you see that right now we have to scroll here because some of them are hidden. If you want to see all of them, you can expand all selectors. And now you see there is no scroll. If you will inspect whichever selector is possible, it will show all up front. Very good feature we have for the Playwright users. If you are a Playwright user, you can get automatically generated Playwright selectors as well in Pro version. Select this, continue, come back here. Now inspect any element. It will also generate the Playwright selector. You see that this is special. This could not be even CSS selector or XPath, but this is a special exclusive Playwright selector which you can use. Like if you inspect this element, you see that this is an exclusive Playwright selector which only Playwright will support, like label, colon, has text, user email inside that, right? And also you can verify these selectors in SelectorsHub. Playwright selectors you can verify. You need not to run your code, Playwright code in debugger mode and then do a lots of stuff to verify just one selector. This, like you can write and you can write verify Playwright selectors in SelectorsHub. You can auto generate the Playwright selectors in SelectorsHub. Very useful, and SelectorsHub is the only tool which supports the Playwright selectors. So likewise, there are like lots of things under customization which you can customize. And at any point of time you want to reset this, do the set like reset what all settings you have done, you just click on this and confirm. Everything will be set to default, and then you can see. Here we have under profile, like you can see what plans and everything. You can always check out the tutorial here in the footer. If you need any help, you can always reach out to us. If you have any issue with this, you can always raise a ticket. And what is the Chrome version on which you are using right now? So we also show the Chrome version here, so you need not to like worried about which browser version you are using on. And you can see the version of this SelectorsHub Pro which you are using here. So these are all the features of SelectorsHub. Apart from this, there are many other features, like smart search is there. You right click, you can copy any XPath or selectors for any elements that is there. Now we have the ID and name column is also there. ID and name selector is also here. This is another great thing. Let me show you guys for SVG and Shadow DOM as well, and iframe how it supports. You just have to inspect the element and it will do everything. You need not to do anything extra. Like you see that we inspected this element here, it is telling you that this is SVG element, alert is there, XPath and CSS selector for that. If any element will be inside Shadow DOM, it will let you know that this is inside Shadow DOM. What is the script to handle that? It used to give you in Cypress JavaScript. You can change this in Selenium Java, that you can get from here. Playwright Java, Playwright JavaScript, all those options are available here in SelectorsHub Pro, which you can utilize and use. Like let's say you want to generate in Selenium Java, you just inspect and you see that you get the code to handle the Shadow DOM element in Selenium Java. Then this is Shadow DOM. Now suppose if any element is inside iframe or something like that, inside Shadow DOM iframe, so all that is also possible. Like you just have to inspect the element, it will tell you that this is inside iframe, XPath of iframe, XPath and selectors for other elements. If it will be inside multiple iframe, then also it will give you XPath for all the iframes as well as XPath for that particular element. It also tells you that how many iframes are there, everything. So you will not have to worry anything. Now you need not to scroll in the DOM up and down. You need not to figure it out why your script is breaking. Like generally we always waste a lot of time to figure out whether this is inside iframe and all. So that all features are available. You just have to open SelectorsHub, inspect the element, rest all you leave it on SelectorsHub, everything it will tell you. So that's the power of SelectorsHub. It helps you guys a lot in learning, saving time and everything. And that's all pretty much from my end. If you have any question, feel free to ask me. There is a question, any option to auto generate the mismatch locator and it auto heals? Right now we don't have this feature that it will automatically generate the XPath or selector for those elements, for those selectors, while using the selector healing feature, that it can automatically generate for zero matching node. It will not generate. Maybe like in future we will add that feature. Please let me know guys if you have any other question. And those who don't have the free account yet for the SelectorsHub Pro version, once again I'm repeating that get your SelectorsHub Pro account for free. Let me just paste the link here again. So that you guys can get. Any question? Just follow the steps on the blog, on this blog post. And if you guys don't get immediately account get created, then please let us know. Please connect us on the live chat or write us support@selectorshub.com. We will make sure that your account get created and you get the free access. And let me just quickly give you guys a glimpse of test case studio as well, how this is helpful. Like you see that this is a test case studio. You just have to turn it on and you see that everything will be recorded here, whatever actions we will be performing, like any right click, this complete flow will be recorded. And if you will get at any point of time any error, any issue, that will be recorded here. You see that open website and all those actions, XPath, CSS selector, screenshot, all these things are there. You can also download test case, you can record multiple test case. Under customize you can see lots of options are there. So that all things you can do. You can generate the test case in your own local language. You can add, delete, you can upload. We are coming up with this new feature that you will be able to directly upload that recorded test case from here, generated test case, to your test trail. You can download a screenshot, you can screen recording can be possible. So lots of things are there which can be done in test case studio. You need not to do anything manually. Like if you have to file a bug, you get these steps from here. If you have to record a test case, you have to do the documentation, everything you get automatically from here. So that's the kind of test case studio. Similarly, like testing daily, which I have already showed you guys, that this is the one of you guys must have. You just have to have it. Like you will have to add this in your browser, install it on your mobile phone. Like in place of using lots of social media, you can just open this app once or twice in a day and get all the updates of related to testing just in a hand. just in your hand. Auto test data to generate the fake test data, test case up to get the uh, test cases. A lot more things are there. You can just go through the website and explore. You will find what all we have done, and request all that please support SelectorsHub. Let others know about this amazing tool. And if you haven't added your feedback, your review on for SelectorsHub in Chrome Store, then please do add. And if you have any feedback, any question, you can always reach out to us on the SelectorsHub website. Live chat will be there. So yeah. And if you ever face any problem, you can always find the contact us option here. So please do reach out to us. Any question, any feedback? That's pretty much from my side. If you have any question, please let me know, guys. If no question, then that's pretty much from my end. After the session, if you get any question, you can always reach out to us here on the live chat of Selectors website. We'll wait for another few minutes. Okay. And anyone, if you guys want me to give the session or take the session for your team or for your company, then feel free to connect with us. I'm more than happy to take the free session for your team or community. And yeah, always here to help you guys. Great. So I guess there is no question. With that, thank you. Thank you so much once again, everyone. Have a great weekend. Thanks for joining. Bye bye.